He didn't even run, I guess. He just stayed there, I guess.
She gave all the girls in the office one.
Self-defense, I'm sure.
No, that's where everybody's sitting up.
Turn around.
It's not worth it. Go there. Thank you, Dan. Good evening, everyone. It is 5 p.m. and it is time to call the Franklin Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order, May 6, 2024 at 5 p.m. Ms. Jones, roll call, please.
Mayor Barnett,
Present.
Mr. Osmond.
Here.
Ms. Gross. Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you all please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, is there any announcements, public comment at this time that does not pertain to the agenda? Seeing none, we will go on to the agenda.
Approve the consent agenda for the minutes April 15 Board of Works meeting.
Second, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Also make a motion to approval of the claims as well.
Okay, we have a motion, and I will second that. A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry about that, Steve.
It's all right. There isn't any old business. We'll go right into the new business. Approval of agreement to acquire fee simple right-of-way for the Graham Road and Earlywood Drive right-of-way. City Attorney Lynn Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one of the two cases that we have pending, a condemnation case that we have for the Graham Road and Earlywood Drive right-of-way. We're getting close to having them all resolved. This case was pending because the plaintiff, or I'm sorry, the landowner, through their attorney, had originally demanded the sum of $159,000 for the acquired right-of-way, which is just under an acre. At the time of that demand, I consulted with Trent Newport as well as Mark Richards and said, I just don't see any reason for us to negotiate at that level. Let's just move forward. And it was a question of timing because we needed to move forward with the project. So we went ahead and filed eminent domain proceedings. As a result of that, we have 3 court-appointed appraisers who appraised the same property. Those appraisers came back with a number of $34,700, which was a lot closer to what we thought it was probably going to be. We did acquire the property through that process where the court gives it to you before there is actual final determination, and part of Judge Clark's order was for us to go to mediation to see if there was a way that we could resolve the case. I thought it was a good idea, frankly, because of expenses that get incurred. So Matt, Mark, Trent Newport, and I participated in a mediation last Tuesday, last Tuesday. We participated in that mediation together. At that point in time, I had spoke with our representatives, Matt and Mark and Trent, and said that my thought process is that our appraised amount was correct. However, I would anticipate that the city would spend approximately $20,000 to litigate the case on my fees, and in the event we were wrong, we are also potentially having to pay up to $25,000 of their fees. So with that, they went from $159,000 to $150,000 and continued, and I continued to say no, no, no. And at one point in time, the mediator came back and said, would you pay something more than the appraised value? And I said, it can't go a dime over 50, and that's subject to Board of Works approval. They came back and said they would accept it. So my recommendation to the board, it's always subject to your final approval, is to accept that because I believe it will be less than what I will spend to litigate it, and we won't have our people out for 3 days to litigate it. But it's always subject to your approval. Happy to answer any questions.
I don't really have any questions. I would just like to say that being through this before, I support Lynn's recommendation.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Lynn, for doing all that.
We have the property too, and we're moving right ahead, and so nothing's going to be slowed down. So we're ready to go. But if you would make a formal motion to approve the recommendation, I will get it wrapped up.
I make a motion to approve the agreement to acquire fee simple right-of-way for Graham Road and Earlywood Drive right-of-way to Mr. Bahan Sidhu.
Yeah, in the condemnation, that's correct.
That's a motion.
Okay, I will second that, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, gentlemen, I'll get it taken care of.
Thank you, Lynn.
Okay, next item, request the following performance letters and credit and subdivision performance surety agreements be released for homesteads at Hillview, Sections 1 and 2. Senior Planner Joanna Tennell, who's setting up here tonight.
Good evening. Homesteads at Hillview, Section 1 and 2, we have had performance letters of credit on file since 2017. We have completed the final inspections, and the items that needed to be repaired have been repaired or installed, so we are ready for those to be released. The ones that need to be released for Section 1 is letter of credit 01799325562. Landscaping, street trees and buffer plantings, $12,066. 01799325554 for sidewalks, $9,101.88. Performance letters of credit and agreements for Section 2 ready to be released, 01799326693-2 for sidewalks, $18,840. And 01799326693-3 landscaping, $57,415.20. So those are all ready to be released.
So, Kenny, on this one, I'll just go ahead and make the motion on this one. I would make the motion to approve as presented by Senior Planner Joanna Tennell.
Second.
And your approval is releasing those letters of credit, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for releasing the letters of credit and subdivision performance surety agreements. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is also there to request the following maintenance letters of credit and subdivision maintenance surety agreements be accepted for Homestead at Hillview, Sections 1 and 2, maintenance. Ann.
The maintenance letters of credit and surety agreements for Section 1, ready for acceptance, is letters of credit 18217-10-1, sidewalks, $1,896.23. 18217-10-2, landscaping, $2,513.75. Maintenance letters of credit and agreements for Section 2, ready for for acceptance, is 18228-10-1, sidewalks, $3,915, and 18228-10-2, landscaping, $11,961.50. Those are all ready for acceptance.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, before, I am on the Board of Directors of Mutual Savings Banks. I did not participate in any way, shape, or form in approving these letters of credit. In my role as city attorney, I look at them with Joanna, so I abstained from any of that involvement, but I wanted to disclose that on the record.
Thank you.
Okay, I would make a motion for acceptance of the maintenance letter of credit and subdivision maintenance surety agreements for Hillview Sections 1 and 2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item, item number 3, request the following performance letters and credit and subdivision performance surety agreements be released for Homestead at Hillview, Section 3, Senior Planner Joanna Tennell.
I want to apologize in advance that Joanna has to read all these, but statute says to make a record thereof, so I'm sorry about
Let
that.
me just say it's better for her to read those than me or Kenny to read those, so.
Hey, I asked.
I apologize.
So this is a little bit of a unique situation. In 2021, Homesteads at Hillview, Section 3 was reviewed and approved as the entire remaining portion of Homesteads at Hillview outside of recorded Sections 1 and 2. They had went ahead and posted performance letters of credit and surety agreements for the entire subdivision construction prior to actually constructing the subdivision in order to record that plat. Since that time, they had modified their timing of believing when they were going to get everything moving. Therefore, they went back through Technical Review Committee and split what was recorded as Section 3 into two smaller sections, which were then Section 3 and Section 4. So as we have all of these performance letters of credit for the original 3 on file, we have to go ahead and release all of them that encompassed what is 3 and 4, replace maintenance and performance for those items in Section 3 in order for them to be able to start selling lots and building homes. And then the remaining performance letters of credit for the outstanding review of improvements on Section 4. And then once they do their as-bills, they'll come back, they'll switch those performance to maintenance, and then they'll be able to start construction in Section 4.
Good.
So, with that being said, the performance letters of credit and surety agreements for homesteads at Hillview Section 3 that are ready to be released is letters of credit 11746-10, -1, street trees, landscaping, and street lights, $98,400. All of these will start with 11746-10. 2, storm sewers, swales, and under drains, $294,641.16. -3, earthwork and erosion control, $462,028.02. -4, sanitary sewers, $235,608.60. -5, for streets, $624,282.60. -6, sidewalks, $158,443.20. -7, survey monuments and street signs, $18,630. Those are all ready to be released.
Okay. I would make a motion to release the performance letter and credit and subdivision surety agreements be released for Homestead at Hillview Section 3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next part of this, request the following performance maintenance letters of credit and subdivision performance maintenance surety agreement be accepted for Homestead at Hillview, Section 3 and 4.
The performance letter of credit and agreements for Section 3, these all start with 18025-10. First one being -1, street trees, landscaping, and street lights, $18,600. -2, streets, $377,406.01. -3, sidewalks, $101,762.40. -4, survey monuments and street signs, $16,110. The performance letters of credits and agreements for Section 4 all start with 1812-10. First one being -1, street trees, landscaping, and street lights, $79,800. -2, storm sewers, swales, and under drains, $164,658.12. -3, earthwork and erosion control, $271,559.76. -4, sanitary sewers, $24,660. -5, streets, $246,702.60. -6, sidewalks, $56,680.80. -7, survey monuments and street signs, $7,920. The maintenance letters of credit and surety agreements for Section 3, I'll start with 18036-10. First one, -1, storm sewers, swales, and under drains, $29,844.58. -2, earthwork and erosion control, $42,317.09. -3, sanitary sewers, $43,793.88. These are all ready to be accepted.
I would make a motion to accept the performance maintenance letters of credit and subdivision performance maintenance surety agreement to be accepted for homesteads at Hillview, Section 3 and Section 4.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good job.
Okay. Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you.
I'm assuming you're with Hillview, is that correct? Yes. So I'm just going to follow up. Pete Grimmer asked me a question the other day, and I told him I would get an answer, so you can maybe relay this to him. He was asking about blacktopping before the house. Yeah, and what I found out with discussion is it can go either way. As far as in the last 5 years, we have seen contractors, the builders, tearing up the curbs, and then you have to go replace the curbs, and it's better than replacing the road if that happens. So we have a subdivision here right now that's replacing a lot of curbs because the builders tore it down. So it's better, we think, to get the blacktop up first, and then you can make an agreement with your builders if they tear up your blacktop. Yeah, so I did check on that, and I wanted you to know that.
I appreciate not relaying the message to him, and that's kind of what Joanna and Mark had led us to believe the whole time as well, too. It was kind of more preventive than it was a mandatory request.
Right. Okay. Okay, thanks, sir. Okay, that was a lot. Next item, request acceptance of bids for the 2024 maintenance improvement project, asphalt milling, patching, and resurfacing. Request award of construction contract to Dave O'Meara Contractor, Inc. as the responsible bidder, submitting the lowest bid, and request execution of construction agreement. Assistant City Engineer Matt
McElroy.
McElroy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we held bids for the 2024 maintenance improvement project, asphalt milling, patching, and resurfacing on May 1st. We had 6 bids, Milestone Contractors with $1,996,945.35. Dave O'Meara Contractor at $1,818,813.45. Howard Companies at $1,999,926.70. Grady Brothers at $2,483,815.75. All-Star Paving, $2,269,320.95. And Midwest Paving at $2,625,159.69. Dave O'Meara being the lowest bidder compared to our engineer's estimate of $2,448,672.55. Their bid came in 25.7% lower than our estimate. So at this time, I'm requesting award of construction contract to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, Dave O'Meara Contractor at $1,818,813.45.
I would add, Mark is always kind enough to send them to me, and Matt did this time as well, send them to me to look ahead. And one of the times when you see under the engineer's estimate, it causes me to ask a question of these gentlemen, are we in the ballpark? Why? Are they responsive? Are they responsible? Have they bid apples to apples and that kind of thing? And Mark and I think Matt both shared, actually, it's a little more competitive now than it was COVID era periods of time. And even though they're under the engineer's estimate, which is we're thankful for that. Sure. 3 of them are very, very close. And those are the 3 who have indicated they really, really wanted the business. Sure. So I think it's safe to say that, and we've used Dave O'Meara before, that they are responsible bidders, even though it's lower than what our engineer's estimate is. And that's to our advantage.
Yeah, and I will add, this is part of this contract is from the Community Crossings grant. So that being low actually helps us out when round 2 comes around in the fall. So
We can get some more money.
I'm good with this.
Okay. Make a motion to accept the bid for the 2024 maintenance improvement project for asphalt milling, patching, and resurfacing. Request awarded to Dave O'Meara Contractor as the responsible bidder, submitting the lowest bid.
I will second that. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I'm going to tag on to what Matt talked about. So it is, half of this is a grant, so about $900,000 of this will be paid with a grant, and we're eligible for $1.5 million this year, so we're somewhere about $600,000 this fall. We will try again to get a matching grant, and that work will be done next spring.
Yeah.
Just like the Earlywood and
Umbarger.
Umbarger's
Yeah.
getting done this year off
Yep.
of last year's money that we would have gotten. So
Right.
It works out great that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to add that. Thank you,
All right,
Matt.
thanks.
Okay, next item, request acceptance of quotes for the North Main Street pavement marking project and award of contract to the Indiana Sign and Barricade Incorporated Assistant City Engineer Matt McElroy.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we held a quote opening on April 26th. We had 2 submitted quotes for this project. Indiana Sign and Barricade at $118,729.57, and also Gridlock Traffic Systems, Inc. at $199,810 even. Indiana Sign and Barricade came in 13.1% lower than the engineer's estimate at $136,675.30.
So Matt, can you tell us what the the markings is made of? I know it sounds like just to mark the streets, $118,000 sounds like a lot of money, which it is a lot of money, but can
Right.
you tell why it costs more money and how it's going to last longer?
Yeah, so on this project, the original back in 2011 was done with thermoplastic, which is more durable pavement marking. So we're going to go ahead and put back thermoplastic. It lasts longer than typical paint, because with paint, you're replacing it within the next year. Thermo lasts, I don't know, off the top of my head, 5 years before you're thinking about replacing it again. The thermo also has reflective beads,
Yeah.
which
There's bead
allow you to
things.
see the pavement markings better at night. I just think the thermoplastic overall is a better material when it comes to performance.
And I agree with the snow plows and all that, so just wanted you to explain on the record why.
And there is a safety issue with the bead things. Those are kind of new.
Yeah, actually, NDOT has recently approved a wet reflective, so the beads are even better when it's raining out, so you can see them better.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the request of acceptance of North Main Street paving marking project and award the contract to Indiana Sign and Barricade, Inc.
I will second, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Sir, before you
I'm
vote,
sorry.
you found those to be the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
That was your second?
That's my second to follow up on
Okay.
just what was stated there.
Thank you. Nope.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you on that one, Matt. You got another one here?
Yep.
Request acceptance of bids for the 2024 Maintenance Improvement Program, crack sealing and award of contract to the HSC Pavement Maintenance Incorporated, Assistant City Engineer, Matt McElroy.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, this is a part of our maintenance program. So crack sealing, we have basically a bunch of streets. I think it was 0.4 mile, or I forget, 40 miles worth of roadway to be crack sealed. We had a bid opening on April 26th. We had 3 timely bids. Scodeller Construction, Inc. at $283,649.76. All-Star Paving, Inc. at $333,600. And then HSC Pavement Maintenance, Inc. at $259,460. HSC being the lowest at 19.5% lower than the engineer's estimate of $322,301.60.
Okay, and one thing we brought up earlier today in our meeting, that North Main Street will be crack sealed before we put the paving.
Correct. We don't want the crack sealing material over the pavement markings. So we will hash that out in pre-cons when the contractor is awarded.
Thank you, Matt.
I'll make a motion to request the acceptance of bids for the 2024 Maintenance Improvement Program, crack sealing, and award a contract to SC Pavement Maintenance, Inc., as being the lowest responsive bidder.
I will second that motion. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you on that one, Matt.
Funny.
The
Wayne Man.
next one,
Yeah,
request
me
acceptance
too.
of bids for the 2024 Maintenance Improvement Program, HMA Ceiling, Assistant City Engineer, Matt McElroy.
On a roll.
You can tell it's spring. We bid open like crazy, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this is another maintenance program. We had bids open on April 26th again for this project. We had only one bidder, All-Star Paving, Inc., at $425,183 even. That was under the engineer's estimate of $459,496.40. We also had as you see on the bid form or the bid tab, that Rejuve did not submit a bid because just too busy for the year. I just wanted to point that out, that it is a very hot project. It just, so much work going on over the state that we only got one bid on this project, so.
Okay, and with that being said, Mr. Austin, I just want to say that I've asked Matt, and what I want to do is not take this project on this year. With the one bidder and that kind of dollars, and I know people are getting busy, I would like to rebid that next spring. We have a lot of work going on this year. And quite frankly, I just want to follow our finances, and then next year, we won't have as much work, and we can do this work next spring, is what I'm thinking. And it's not going to be detrimental to our streets. What this is, just so people don't know, is where you've seen over the years where you put paving down that's in good shape, and they put sand and they put a treatment on it, and it makes the roads last a few years longer, and I believe it really does work. But we can do that at any time. We don't have to do it at a certain time to get that back. And what is we think it adds, 3-4 years to the pavement?
Yeah, actually, the crack sealing is more of a structural thing, so it doesn't add life to the pavement, but the HMA sealing actually makes a better score on the PASER rating.
That's where we started doing it when we created our PASER rating years ago, yeah.
And there's also, I'd like to note that there are more products coming out. In the past, there's only one product in the state that's accepted for this type of work. But we saw a couple contractors come to us with additional materials. And of course, we'd like to see that approved by NDOT first, just to make sure that they've used it. And All-Star actually had a separate material that was approved for even community crossings. So we're starting to see more materials come in, which will, in the future, provide more competitive bids too, once those materials come available.
Well, what I've seen over the years too, it started out, it was fairly reasonable in price to do this, and it keeps getting higher and higher and higher. So
Yeah.
that's another reason I feel like just with one bid that we probably should not do the work this year,
Yeah.
so.
So pursuant to our bid specs, we reserve the right to reject all bids, which would be the appropriate motion, because we're not just delaying this, we're just rejecting all bids, and we have that ability under our bid specs and our advertised notice.
So I guess I would make the motion to reject all bids for the 2024 Maintenance Improvement Program HMA Ceiling project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll tell Mark he should let you do this more often. Okay, I don't see any other business, so unless somebody has something, we'll go into department reports, and I'll start with Sally on that end.
Yes, sir. We have a project going on right now. It is for a conveyor belt in our biosolids building. And part of that project was to demo a silo that we used 20 years ago. And they showed up by the end of the day today. They're going to remove that silo, and the conveyor parts should arrive on site next week, is what we heard, the 14th. So
Okay, and
exciting.
for those that don't know, that was DPW report. So, planning, Joanna? Planning and engineering?
Nothing this evening.
Nothing, okay. Greg?
I don't have anything, sir. Thank you.
IT, okay. Sherry? Billing?
I don't, other than the May bills are out and they could have went up or down depending on your winter water usage. So just be aware of that. And the notation has been on the bill for the last 2 months. So far, no calls.
Thank you.
In a bad way.
Thank you. Chief Snyder?
Yes, sir. Just, the finish line is very close for Station 21 to be remodeled. We've got some asphalt work to do, some concrete work to do, and there should be starting this week on, weather permitting, fingers crossed, on laying the brick up the front of the building.
Okay, thank you. Chief Cochran?
The only thing I got obvious on the agenda is Caden Carter, Tyler Bickle, new officers getting sworn tonight officially. Caden Carter's already working, Tyler started this morning, so that's what we got.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Warner, Chip?
29 minutes, all right.
You're not getting any more money.
Oh, well. Splash Pad opened today at noon, so anybody that wants to go cool off the next few days, you have a place to do it for free. First concert, really technically the first concert of the summer is this coming Friday. Stella Luna and the Satellites, if you've ever seen them, they're a local band. Community Garden got a renovation this year. It now has 20 raised plots and then 20 regular plots. We have 4 left. We normally maybe sell 4 a year. We have 4 left of all of those. That's a good thing. That's a nice partnership with the Interlocal Church Food Pantry, which is pretty cool. So, I didn't see a lot of people there. The Arbor Day celebration thing that we had with the tree committee was actually really good this year. So I appreciate all the tree committee's work that they do for that, and especially Jason Wilson at the street department and Jim Farr that works for engineering too. Both of those did a great job.
I want you to know, I took that kind of personal. You said it was the best one that we've had, and I've been to every single one except for this.
Except for this one. Caught the hint. I like that. No, I'm just kidding. And other than that, we're in the process of training about 120 people that are going to start working for us in the next couple of weeks as the pool opens on May the 18th. So water's a little cool at the moment, but it's full. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Chip. Tara, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Matt McElroy for all of his help with the EV charging station. It is up and very functional. We are still working on striping it, so the cones are still out, but some of it plugs.
Good deal. And when you say people plug into it, just for the record, they get charged when they plug into it with a credit card. Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you. Kenny?
Mayor, I don't have anything, thank you.
Jan? Ms. Gray?
No, sir.
I would make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.